Today, Jeff is going to be giving you a closer look at this M9C Pro Android 4K TV box.
Okay, so this is the box that comes in. Here's the actual TV box right here. As you see, he's really thin, pretty small, so he doesn't have a big footprint when you're putting him next to your TV or anything like that, or trying to hide him behind the TV or whatever you want to do. But this little guy has a bunch of things that he can do from the side. He does have some internal storage up to 8 gig, but a lot of that is taken by Android. So after Android, I think you have about 5 gigs of internal storage. But don't worry, you can up that. It's got a micro USB card slot and 2 USB slots. So you can up that 8 gig to whatever you want. And then in the back here, you've got an AV port, which I'll show you the things that come with it. SPI or SPDIF, which is your, I just forgot what that is. It's the fiber optics, which nobody really uses much anymore. And then it does have an Ethernet port, which is pretty cool, but it does have wireless as well. So if you have Ethernet by your TV, cool, you can plug it in. If not, it's got wireless, so you're all good. And then HDMI, and then there's your power, and nothing on this side. On the front, it's got your RF for the remote. And the things it comes with, obviously, is a remote, which is a little easy to use. There are some things that are a little quirky, but you can use it. I'll show you how. It also comes with, this is your AV cables, and this is the plug that you'll plug into the back. Oops. Into the back right here, just in case you don't have fiber or HDMI. And then it also comes with an HDMI cable, which I already have plugged into my TV, and then your power cable, which I already have plugged into the wall. So let's start this guy up so you can see him boot. He's pretty fast. He's got a fast processor, but he only has 1 gig of RAM. So that's its downside, that it only has 1 gig of RAM. Makes things go a little bit slower sometimes, depending if you have a lot of apps running at the same time. It will slow it down. It's just like a phone or a tablet. The more RAM, the better. So good processor, just 1 gig of RAM. That's what you're going to get. The startup time isn't that long. It doesn't take very long to start up. And as you can see, it's got a great picture. This says it does 4K video. I don't have a 4K TV, I only have 1080p, so this is a 1080p TV. But as you can see, colors are really bright, it's very vibrant. It's definitely doing 1080p. Whether it can do 4K, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll rate it on a 1080p TV. And right now it's pretty fast. I don't have any apps because it just started. There's no apps running, so right now it's pretty snappy. If you run a lot of apps, it starts to slow down a little bit. But when you first get it, you want to go into the settings and set some stuff up. And this is what I thought. It comes as Japanese right away. So I'm going to show you how to change that to English or to whatever language you want. If you don't speak Japanese, and obviously you're going to get lost in this.
And this will return to the default of this language anytime you unplug it or reboot it.
Yeah, so that's kind of a downside there. Once you change the language, it doesn't stay for some reason. I don't understand. But once you hit settings, you're going to see this screen. You're going to want to go to the little globe here, okay, and those letters.
Whatever that says.
You'll hit OK
we don't know.
on the remote, and then you'll see a long list of languages, and you'll have to scroll up for a while. If you want English, just keep scrolling up, and we're just past it. And where did I pass it? English. Hey, this Filipino. Not very many do. There we go. It's at the top. English, United States, US. Hit OK, and then all of a sudden you can read it. Or if you don't read English, you can put it as whatever you want.
So remember how to do that.
Read it. Okay? So remember, go to the globe. That's where your language is. And if you don't mind, once you turn it off, turn it back on, you have to change the language every time. Kind of stinks, but it seems like that's the way it is. Date and time, change the date and time really simple. Right now I don't, it's set to, I think, Japanese or Japan. I'm not really going to worry about it. And then up here you can set your network. I have it connected already, but you just hit Wi-Fi, find your Wi-Fi, connect it, and put in your password, and you're all good. So this is running Android 6.0.1, so it's pretty updated. It's pretty new, so it's a little snappy. The everything is pretty new. It's not running on like Android 4 or some of the old ones. So it's running new, which is really nice. And if you don't want to get into the settings, or after you do the settings, this is your main video right here. You can see that I'm connected to Wi-Fi. If you've got any online videos, recommended music, local, and then also you have apps. Remember what I said, that you do have an 8 gig ROM. And I don't have anything plugged into it, but you can make that bigger. But with an 8 gig ROM, you can still put in some apps. As you can see, it comes pre-installed with a bunch of apps. But you can also install some stuff. I installed a few apps. And it does have the Play Store. I'll get into that really quick so that you can see. Pretty snappy, not bad. Once you sign into it, you can navigate around with the remote and do what you want. You can even search. So this is where the little quirky keyboard or remote comes into play. It's not, you can't really get everywhere when you hit the up and left and right and down buttons. So there's a little button here at the very bottom. Looks like a mouse because it is a mouse. So if you click that button and then you move the arrow keys, you'll see that a mouse just came into play. Okay, and in the settings you can change the speed of this mouse, but it's kind of slow and awkward at the moment. But if you can't seem to get your way up to the Google Play box or any other box that you want to get to, and you can't by hitting the arrow keys and go to the mouse and then click OK when you're on there, that's your mouse button. And then the keyboard comes up, and to get off the mouse, see, I'm still on the mouse, so I'd have to use the mouse to get all the keys. You don't want to do that. To get off the mouse, you click the mouse button again, and then you can see I'm using the arrow keys to get around the keyboard, and you can do whatever you want. And as you can see, I searched some stuff up there already. And because that's up there already, I'll bring this up. This is rooted. Some people may have a problem with that. Some people won't.
Let's explain what that means for.
Well, rooted means that you have access to the root of the file system. And if you don't know what that means, it goes back to Linux and stuff like that. But it means that you can do whatever you want on this thing, no limits. Which means you can download something. You can download an app that could get root access to your unit, and if you're surfing the web, getting on Bank or whatever you're doing, it can find, or it can send your information to somebody else. So having a rooted device is a little scary. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be pretty scary. If you do know what you're doing, it's still pretty scary. But there are ways to get around it. It comes with a super user app. I went ahead and got on the Play Store and downloaded Super Sue because it's a little bit easier to use. But if you install Super Sue from the Play Store app, it will, once it configures, it will ask you if you want to uninstall the other super user app, which I would recommend you do. It uninstalls that. And then in here...
So it's one thing if you knew how to root a device and you rooted it yourself, it just could pose a security issue receiving a device that's already pre-rooted.
Yeah, rooting it yourself is one thing because you kind of know what you've done when you rooted it. Getting a device that's already rooted, it's another thing. I haven't really contacted the seller to find out why they rooted it or why it is rooted. which you may do. But you can download this app. You just go up to settings at the top, and you can disable Super Sue or Super User, which means Super User is disabled. Also, if you want it on, because you know what you're doing.
This just may give you more security and peace of mind if you were to take that off.
So it's reinstalling it now. But if you do want to keep it on, you can go down here to access, and if anything wants access to root, you can set it to prompt, or if you want to be super cautious, just set it to deny always. So if anything asks to get your root or into the root of the device to install anything or get information or whatever, it will automatically prompt you or just automatically deny you. You don't want to grant, because then you have no idea what's going on. But if you do deny or prompt, at least you'll know what's going on when you download anything.
Yeah, so you can definitely, there's some features to make it more secure for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that shows you your root access. But let's get into this really quick. The things that you'd use this for. Basically, nowadays every TV is a smart TV. If you have an older TV that you want to make a smart TV, or even just a monitor that you have in a room that you want to make a smart TV, this is what you'd buy. You'd plug it in, and then you'd have a smart TV. Really quick, you can use it for whatever app you put it on. So music, online videos, local videos if you plug in a USB device. But basically, the reason for this box is to make your smart TV or your non-smart TV a smart TV. Now, if you have a smart TV and you don't like the smart TV, this just brings the Android smart TV to your experience. And if that's what you like, then that's what you get. But you can download whatever apps you want, Netflix, Pandora, whatever you want to do, and you can play them just like you do on your phone or your Android tablet. And it's that simple.
So the kind of apps that are on this are unique to like what would be on your Android devices rather than what's typically found on the smart TV.
Yeah,
right?
This is Android. So whatever apps are in the Android store, that's what you're going to be able to use. And YouTube, for instance, we'll bring up YouTube really quick. But this is the I got a problem with the network. There we go. So I mean, this is what you'd use it for. It would make your TV a smart TV if your TV already isn't a smart TV. But you can see sound works. And the screen is very bright and vibrant. It's definitely 1080p. So there you go. It's a box to make your TV smart or smarter, whichever way you want to put it. And it makes you be able to use Netflix or Pandora, whatever you want to use. But that's the Android TV box.